When I moved to South Korea, I was teaching at a Christian international school, and at that point I had been teaching for about 4 years in the American public school system before moving to Korea. And I was immediately surprised by the difference in the environment and the attitude of the students when I moved there. I had mostly Korean students. Some were from Europe, like Germany and Poland, and they had self-motivation that I didn't see here in the States. And part of that, a huge part of that, was because they had or felt that they had a personal responsibility to their families to be successful, and that if they did not learn in the classroom, they were going to let their parents down and their grandparents. And because of that, they came to school with energy and with focus. And as soon as the teacher would start speaking, their attention was on the teacher. They were not distracted by their pencils or their paper or their friends or anything else around them. They were there to learn. And even coming from the States, if I tried to incorporate a game or anything like that, they were a little taken back by it because they didn't see that as learning. And so as a result, they were pretty serious when it came to the classroom, because they knew that they had a job to do, because when they grew up they knew that they had to contribute to their society and their family. They are not individualistic like we are here in the States. They don't do things because they feel like doing things. In fact, that's not allowed. They do things only if it helps their family in some way, or their community, or their school, or their class. Like, they cannot just choose to go out on a whim and choose a career on their own unless they know that it's supporting their family in some way. When it came to any situations in the classroom, it was a matter of finding out what the student needed to be successful in a way that did not fall on anybody else's shoulders but the student. Like, you had to be able to communicate with the student about what it was that they did need and how to solve that issue that they were having in the classroom. But if they ever said anything, oh, well, I'm bored, or anything like that, that was not an excuse at all. They knew that they had to be responsible in the classroom for their own learning. My two experiences between the States and Korea were very different, even in terms of parent involvement. Whenever there were any of my students that were not succeeding as expected in the classroom, the parent would be there right away. And as we discussed solutions, the attention was always on the student and what they needed to be doing differently in order to succeed in the classroom, whether it was the fact that they had been daydreaming or if they weren't getting enough sleep at night. The parent was there to help find a solution for their child. Whatever the teacher thought was best for the classroom, that was accepted as being the best, because they were expected to be a professional in their field and to know what they were doing. And so if they said things needed to be a different way, then everybody agreed with them, because they expected them to be professional. And as far as our society, I feel, again, it's not like I can pinpoint exactly how to make the solution work, but I feel like on a cultural level, we've evolved into this sense of I don't have any personal responsibility. Like, if I do something wrong, I can blame it on someone else. And with that, I think it has spread into our legislation in the way that now we're backing it up and enabling it. We're enabling a student, to sue a school because the teacher didn't say the right thing at the right time. So I really feel like it starts with a sense of respect and personal responsibility on the student's part. And I feel like we're not going to be able to make any progress until that also is backed up by our legislation.